It's been about 6 months since I got the Dyson Light Ball, and I thought it was worth giving a very short update review. I've not had a single issue with this machine, and it's worked as great now as it did on day one. I thought it was worth looking at the sole plate and brush bar that gets the most wear. The small wheels turn freely, and the felt is still attached. There's a bit of marking and grime that naturally accumulates on any vacuum. While not necessary, it's easily wiped off with a damp cloth. The brush bar still turns nicely, and it's never shown any signs of struggling. There's no hair or dirt on the bristles, so they're great self-cleaners. Taking the brush bar out, there's no significant dust down the tube, and there's no evidence it's having any adverse effect. There was a bit of dust accumulating near the rotating collar, but again, it's not causing any problems. You can clearly see where the rubber seal is working well to minimise any dust building up inside the tube. The brush head still spins very freely, so the cleaner head is held up perfectly well, with no issues at all under the normal responsible household use it was designed for. I've emptied the bin several times in the last 6 months, giving the shroud a quick wipe in the process. It's been very hygienic. I've never come into contact with any dust during emptying, and it's never sprayed anywhere. Dyson cleaners are very hygienic to empty if you empty it smartly, directly into the bin. The only way you'll splash the dust and make a messy cloud is if you're careless or drop it from height. The bin doesn't need to be 100% spotless when you empty it, just as long as most leaves to avoid being near the max fill line. It's easy to wipe the shroud with any dusting cloth. You can also wipe the bin if you feel the need, although this isn't necessary. I've washed the filters a few times as instructed in the manual, and there was no sign of visible dust on there because the cyclonic filtration is the best on the market by a long way, and very little gets to them, even after extended use. I've had no extra costs while using this machine, and I don't expect to have any. I don't need to buy any extra filters because these are washable and last the lifetime of the machine, and I don't have to buy and remember to keep a stock of replacement bags ready. The performance doesn't drop as the bin gets loaded with dust, unlike with bags which do clog up, reducing performance between uses. It vacuums perfectly every time and has constant and very strong suction. As long as you empty the bin regularly and ensure the filters are clean, this machine isn't likely to have any performance issues. The machine has been durable and has held up well and has a very high build quality. No obvious damage or scratching, in fact it still looks new. The ball turns nicely still and is really obedient and flexible to move around. The handle is sturdy and has a really nice level of elastic flexibility that really suggests high quality build and understanding of the need for mechanical spring in design and materials choices. The floor head is held down here and you can see how fantastically flexible and springy the handle is. It's really nicely done. The soft, elastic plastics have held up well and are incredibly strong and durable. Nothing has snapped or come off or cracked. They're really tough, lightweight, elastic materials and far better than using heavier metals. There's no obvious noise or creaking from using the machine and it just feels like a solid product. I tend to use the default head mode on this machine now, which has the front large debris channels open. This mode works perfectly on both hard floors and carpet. It prevents clamping on smooth hard floors, solves the snow plowing problem and picks up large particles like rice and cereal, and also works equally well on carpets, allowing easy movement without clamping, yet offering excellent suction. It really lifts the pile and gives really clean results. I don't keep the upholstery tool on the machine anymore because it was easy to knock off and I never really used it. I have the tangle-free turbine tool which is always nearby for use on furniture and stairs. The bristles on the brush can sometimes get a bit bent because it presses against the bin, but this self-corrects as you can see from my otherwise perfect brush. At first I was a bit disappointed that the hose length wasn't sufficient to reach all the way to the top of the stairs. I still think this should be the case, but I've learned it's actually really easy to clean the stairs while holding the machine on the step. It's so lightweight for a full-size vacuum that you can hold it with one hand on the step below the one you're cleaning. If you use the hose and not the wand, it's really easy, there's no pullback, and I find it even less tiring now to do the stairs than trying to do it with a wand. I think it's a far better approach currently. Overall, this is still the best vacuum I've owned. It would be nice not to have to clean filters or the shroud, but for £200, which is the price it's seemingly permanently on offer for, it's a bargain and represents the best vacuum you can get on the market currently for its overall holistic performance.